In World War II, survival was often a matter of overwhelming firepower. Soldiers were pitted against a relentless machine of artillery and armor. Yet, amidst this landscape of mechanized slaughter, walked an anomaly, a medic moving through the smoke of battle completely unarmed. To understand how a man stepped into a war zone without a rifle, we look back to a quiet house in Lynchburg, Virginia. Desmond Doss grew up shaped by the deep-rooted religious pacifism of his home. For Doss, the sixth commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," was a literal mandate. He believed that taking a human life was a violation of his faith that no circumstance could justify. When the war broke out, he felt a moral obligation to serve, yet his refusal to carry a weapon meant he would be entering the crossfire with no way to defend himself. At Fort Jackson, the U.S. Army expected absolute uniformity. Every recruit was trained to be a lethal asset, conditioned to use a rifle as an extension of themselves. Doss refused to even touch a weapon. This immediately created a rift between him and his entire unit. His fellow recruits threw shoes at him while he prayed. Officers tried to court-martial him, and psychiatrists attempted to discharge him as a liability, viewing his pacifism as a form of instability. Doss countered with a legal defense. He wasn't refusing to enter combat, but demanding to serve exclusively as a healer in the crossfire. The military eventually relented, creating a strange paradox. They were deploying a frontline soldier who was incapable of firing a shot to protect his own unit. By the spring of 1945, the Battle of Okinawa had become one of the costliest engagements of the Pacific War. This diagram shows the Maeda Escarpment, a steep cliff forcing Americans into a kill zone. Once atop, they were exposed on a flat plateau. After a devastating assault, the main force retreated down the cliff, leaving dozens of wounded behind in the active fire zone. While his unit pulled back to the safety of the cliff's base, Doss stayed on the ridge, moving through the smoke to locate survivors. Every minute he spent on the plateau was a choice to face the crossfire without a weapon, turning his attention entirely to the men who had been left for dead. As night fell, Doss crawled through the mud, evading Japanese patrols to drag incapacitated soldiers toward the cliff edge by their collars. He reached the 400-foot drop with the survivors, but had no way to lower them down the sheer face without being pulled over the edge himself. He engineered a solution using a double bowline knot. This structure created a secure seat that looped around the soldiers' legs and chest, allowing their weight to be distributed safely. Anchoring the rope to a stump, Doss wrapped the line around his own body to create friction, lowering each man hand over hand into the darkness. Using only a length of rope, he functioned as a one-man evacuation team, operating entirely alone under constant threat of discovery. After several rescues, the rough hemp rope tore into Doss's hands. His muscles began to fail under the weight of lowering men in heavy gear. The hours blurred. He went back into the artillery fire again and again, refusing to stop as long as he heard men breathing. As his physical strength vanished, he relied on a single psychological anchor to drive him back into the dark. Lord, help me get one more. In this state of total exhaustion, his commitment to healing became the most relentless force on the battlefield. Dawn brought an eerie quiet to the edge of Hacksaw Ridge. Doss sat at the cliff edge, his physical limit completely shattered, but the survivors were safe. By the time he was finished, he had successfully evacuated 75 American soldiers. The military hierarchy that once tried to expel him now owed dozens of its lives entirely to his decision to stay. The scale of his feat overturned years of institutional mockery. President Truman eventually recognized his actions at the highest level of military honor. As the first conscientious objector to receive the Medal of Honor, Doss expanded the traditional definition of military valor. He went to war armed with nothing but his convictions. The lives of those 75 men stand as a permanent record of Doss's legacy, that an unyielding commitment to healing can overcome even the most destructive environments on Earth.